Hello everyone, what's up? Prince12 here with another video review. Today I'm taking a look at Transformers Siege War for Cybertron Deluxe Class Prowl. So before we take a look at the toy, let's take a quick look at the box. So as you can see, he is Prowl, that's his name. He is the 23rd figure in the War for Cybertron Siege line. There's the line right there. He is for ages 8 and up. Of course, that's just a suggestion. I have to put that on there. He is manufactured by Hasbro. In case you need it to be spelled out for you that this is a Transformer, well, there's the name of the brand right there. This is from the Generations line, and it is co-manufactured by Takara Tomy. Here's Prowl on the side with some nice looking box art. Deluxe class. He's a deluxe class in several different languages. Over here we have the nice poster art, and then on the back we have Prowl and everything he does. He transforms in 14 steps. You can give him different weapons to power him up, and don't eat the toy because plastic's not good for your digestive system. So that's pretty much it for the box. Here we have Prowl. If you've seen my review of Deluxe Barricade, then there's going to be a lot of familiar things here. That's because they share a mold. Prowl was the first version of this mold to come out, followed by, I think Blue Streak actually came out before Barricade, or I don't know, because Blue Streak was made for the 35th anniversary wave. That kind of came out in the interim between waves. I don't know. That one's a little weird. That one's just a little bit weird. But yeah, I reviewed Barricade, and he came out after Prowl, and Prowl was the originator of this mold. So here is the original version of this mold that was released earlier this year, or excuse me, it's still 2019 when I'm recording this, but by the time this is released, it's going to be 2020. So here's the original version of this mold that was released in 2019. So yeah, he is a Cybertronian police car. As we can see, it's very much G1 Prowl from the cartoon, but with the exception of the fact that it's a Cybertronian vehicle. But he still kind of has dropped him. Excuse me. But he's got all the typical design things you think of when you think of G1 Prowl, with the paint done up and everything, in the very white color scheme. So yeah, he looks pretty good. I like the vehicle mode just as much as I did with Barricade, in that, you know, it's very sleek. It looks very futuristic and very alien, because, you know, while there are doors here, that's just more or less to keep with the G1 robot design. In which case, you know, in terms of the vehicle, I really don't think these are doors. I think they're just panels that collapse in. They only look like doors to us because that's where the doors would go if this were an Earth vehicle. But this is not an Earth vehicle. This isn't really even a vehicle at all. It's just an alternate form that this robot transforms into on his home planet. So I think this mold, it probably has one of the best designs when it comes to the Cybertronian modes, because it actually looks like something that would exist on Cybertron, and is not a Cybertronified version of an Earth vehicle like with Optimus or Hound. So yeah. So yeah, pretty cool figure. Of course, you can remove his little siren lights up here, and you kind of sort of have to for transformation. And then that allows you to then store his weapon like this, which is an interesting look, and then you can put the siren on top, so I guess you can think it kind of comes up. Or if you want to, you can leave the siren in. This is something I enjoy, is that there are different options, that you can leave the siren in and then store the weapon like this. Now when it's like this, you do have that handle kind of sticking out, so maybe it is best to do it the other way, but you do have options on how to store the weapons. So that's pretty much it for the vehicle mode. Let's go ahead and get into some size comparisons. Comparing him to another police car, here is Movie 1 Barricade. So Barricade from the first live-action Transformers movie. Obviously, there's a big difference between, you know, like the 12 years of the releases, but yeah, you can definitely tell that he's supposed to be a police car. So even if it is a Cybertronian police car. So then we'll move him off to the side, and then we'll go for a more direct comparison. Is that here is his mold buddy Barricade. So yeah, as you can see, they are the exact same toy pretty much, minus paint and slight remolding of Barricade that's only visible in the robot mode. And yeah, so they're just basically the same vehicle, but with two different paint schemes, which I really like. I really like seeing these two together. This is, you know, when I when I saw how Barricade looked, and I decided to pick him up, and then I decided to pick up Prowl because of that. I think they look really good together. It is kind of the evil twin. Barricade is certainly the evil twin version, and I do like that they both kind of have the Cybertronian writing for. I'm assuming that says police, because I can't read it. It's Cybertronian, but I'm assuming that says police. So they both have the same door, pretty much. It's just that Barricade is an all black cop car with a white door, and then Prowl is more white with some black accents. So, yeah, so you've got your good and your evil cops here. You got your good cop and your bad cop. So, yeah, so that's pretty much it for the size comparisons. Now, let's go ahead and get down to transformation. And again, since Prowl is the exact same toy as Barricade, if you've already seen my Barricade review, then there's going to be some familiar sights here. First of all, we open up the doors, get those out of the way. We can remove this, and then with that removed, we can start working on the legs. So that just becomes untabbed from there, and then we can swing them around like so. And then something I've noticed with Prowl is that compared to Barricade, his legs stick in a little bit more, which I find interesting. Then we can just bring down the feet, flip out the heel. We got a foot all done. Bring down the feet, flip out the heel. The legs are done. Now we can bring up the arms, flip them out like so, and then flip out this little chest piece. Now, this is the one difference in the transformation between Prowl and Barricade, is that the way Prowl's head is molded, the little horns on his head actually get in the way of some of the transformation. So whenever you're transforming him into vehicle mode, you do have to make sure his head is turned around. I tried transforming him with the head turned front ways, and it was just not possible. I was not getting it. I was like, well, what's going on here? And then I was like, oh, because I Prowl, again, it's the exact same toy as Barricade, so I already knew the transformation. I didn't bother looking at the instructions, so the instructions may actually tell you to swivel the head around. But I didn't look in the instructions. I'm like, oh, maybe I need to turn the head. So I turned the head, then I was able to do it. So just fold all this back. Here's the hood of the car. Push that in. That will just go in there. Then we can bring all of this down. Yeah, and see, then this is where Prowl becomes a problem because of the horns on his head. So, obviously this is something that they improved with Barricade. Because, I mean, look at that. You can see that that's kind of getting stuck there, and that's aggravating. So, I guess you kind of have to, yeah. Alright, yeah, there we go. So, you just have to make sure that this isn't all the way back yet, and it's lifted up a little bit more, and then you can bring it down. Much easier with Barricade. That is not an issue whatsoever. So now we can turn the arms, bring down the arms, turn the arms, bring down the arms, and then we can fold the doors pretty much any way we want. Get him standing up here. There we go. And then there we have Prowl in his robot mode. And so now we have Prowl in his robot mode. We can take a look at his face sculpt. The face sculpt is very plain, but Prowl has always had a very plain face. I kind of wish maybe if they had given him a smile or something, but, you know, it does look very good, very accurate to G1. The eyes are painted in nice and blue. So just a little scratch of red there on the visor, which is an error in the paint application. It's not a big deal. That's just a teeny tiny little nitpick. So, yeah. Overall, he looks very good in robot mode. Again, it's the exact same robot mode as Barricade, but with some slight differences in the paint on the abdomen, and then the arms, and then, well, I mean, the paint overall is different. But yeah, so there we have Prowl. We can, of course, give him his weapon here. And then attach the little siren lights on top. I've seen people put them on like that. I think the instructions also have them like that. So there are a multitude of ways you can put them on there. I think I kind of prefer it this way. I don't know. There's just something a little more sleeker, and it kind of makes the gun look a little larger, which is nice. So yeah, so there we have Prowl. We can, of course, give him the effects parts from the Siege line. So he can blast Decepticons all the livelong day. Put him in a nice little pose. So, very cool. Very nice. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the robot mode. You can, of course, give him the little battle masters, so he can have extra weaponry here. You can also remove it. There we go. And slide it into that shoulder. It doesn't really go in that far, but it does sit. It doesn't really click in, but it does sit, so you can kind of have the shoulder-mounted rocket launcher or blaster cannon right there, and then see how easy that comes out. So it doesn't sit, but it does sit in. But it doesn't tab in, but it does sit. So that is something you could do if you want to. Just get him situated again here, and then we'll get into some size comparisons. So here we have Prowl, and then here we have his comrade Hound. Hound is just the teensiest, tiniest bit taller. He's not taller by much. It's just the teensiest, tiniest bit, but Hound is a bit more of a bulky boy. So he's not bulkhead, but he is a bit more of a bulky boy. So move him off to the side. Here we have Prowl with his mold mate Barricade. So obviously same toy. They are the same height, even though Barricade's head is remolded. They are pretty much the exact same height still. I mean, the way the feet are positioned may give one to the other a teensiest bit of a height advantage, but otherwise, you know, they're the exact same toy. They stand the exact same height. Something you can do if you've got them is that, and this is what I find interesting about this mold, is that something like this wasn't available until Barricade, is that he comes with these weapons, and you can, of course, tab them in here on his shoulders. Prowl, traditionally in G1, has had these shoulder-mounted rocket launchers attached to him. So you can give him Barricade's weapons to kind of complete the traditional Prowl look. Now they're molded in the wrong color of plastic, so you know they have that kind of that grayish purple look to them because it matches Barricade and not Prowl. But you can give that to him, and of course attach the effects parts. So if you want to just to further complete the Prowl look, you can do that. But since these are Barricade's weapons, I leave them with Barricade. So there they are together. And then last, for a size comparison, just for fun, just for funsies, there's no really any particular reason I decided to bring him in if I can get Prowl to stand up. Thank you. No real particular reason I decided to bring him in, but here he is with G1 Starscream. So I don't know. I don't really know why I decided to bring Starscream in, but you know, it's just kind of a fun little comparison. You know, with a G1 design character and a actual G1 toy. I don't know. If, you know, Prowl here seeing Starscream and the little G1 Megatron Might make him a little envious for the olden days of of G1. Might give him a little bit of spark burn, so to speak. Because let's face it, G1 Megatron, he's a much larger gun than Prowl has. So I don't know, those instruments of destruction that Decepticons have might make Prowl just a little bit envious. So obviously there's a reason I brought in Starscream. It's because Starscream using G1 Megatron as a cannon is the one that kills Prowl in G1. So I could not pass up the opportunity, since I had the re-release Starscream, to actually bring him in here. I just thought that would be funny. So yeah. Pew. I've died a horrible, horrible death. I've died a very violent PG 1986 death with smoke coming out of my mouth. But I can't really lay down because of my backpack, but that'll work. So yeah, that's pretty much it for Prowl. I'm just gonna leave him there because that's funny. But Prowl's a fun toy. I enjoyed the Barricade mold enough that it really solidified the idea that I wanted to get Prowl to join him. And I don't regret that. Prowl's fun. There's just some, for whatever reason, I find it harder to pose Prowl, so I don't know if maybe between the release of this version of the mold and Barricade, maybe the designers made some very slight tweaks to him to help with the stability and the posing and the standing, because as you saw there, I was having a little bit more problems standing Prowl than I was Barricade during that review. But I don't know, Prowl's still a good toy overall. It's a very fun, easy transformation. He looks good, and then also just a slight touch that I did to differentiate the two, because Autobot Decepticon, I made sure that Prowl's shoulder armor is up straight while Barricade's is more out. I don't know. It's just a slight difference to further help differentiate the two, even though they do share a mold, they are very different. So yeah, I'll leave the corpse where it is. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this review. I certainly recommend this toy if you can still find him. He's starting to become a little bit more scarce because he came out towards the beginning of 2019, and at the time you're watching this, it is now 2020. So he's it's a toy that's a year old, but I enjoy him. I certainly recommend him, and I think he's a fun toy to have if you can find him. So that'll pretty much be it for this review. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe. Hold on. It's 2020. COPPA's a thing. Yeah, so like, comment, subscribe if you can still do that. And I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.